Hi everyone, Shelley here from Cabin, Ontario, and Inspiring You Wellness Coaching. I wanted to come on tonight. I was doing some reading today, and I came across a topic that was a different way of putting stuff, right? And so I was reading about personal power, right? Why is your personal power important? So let's look at this, right? All of us have experienced feeling of powerlessness, losing your power, and being disempowered. It can be devastating and it can lead to lifelong trauma, right? If the situation is serious enough. So we probably also experienced a moment where we felt really super empowered, right? And we were able to move through the experience with our dignity and self-respect, and everything went well, right? So it can go well or it can be not well. So power is a real tricky word, I think. I think it really is. So because it can have a negative, right? You got a negative and a positive here. It can be destructive. It's important to distinguish between the kind of power that is the power that people have over other people, right? That's not the kind of power I want to talk about. And that can be manipulative and unkind and mean. So this power that I'm talking about is personal mastering, self-power, okay? Personal power, self-power, okay? Personal power isn't about power over others. It's about feeling empowerment in your own life, right? When we're born, we start with a clean slate. There's nothing icky, negative, or positive that has touched us. We haven't experienced grief, shame, or trauma, right? We also haven't enjoyed or experienced joy, peace, happiness, right? Personal power comes from life experience. It comes from moving through those experiences and how you deal with them. So we develop a self-knowing and mastery, right? So this can be negative or positive, right? So we begin to build this reserve of personal power, okay? And then when we need it, we can tap into it to empower our lives, right? Again, it's a very balanced, tricky, because you want to be self-empowered. You don't want to have power over other people. That's a little manipulative and mean. So let's go to why personal power is important. Plenty of people go through their lives without developing personal power, okay? It doesn't mean that they don't feel enjoyment or contentment or empowerment in their life experiences. Most of the time, they're the ones that blame others for the things that happen to them. They see themselves as helpless victims and they can't change the course of their lives, okay? It's a depressing and deflating way to move through your life. It really is. And most people would rather not experience life in that way. So they're not taking in ownership and being accountable, which is also a way to develop personal empowerment, right? You can come from a place of personal empowerment. You need to know your boundaries and limitations and honor them. So when you feel trapped, and you know how to recover and renew your energy, that's self-empowerment, okay? If someone is trying to manipulate you or overpower you, we're able to stand in our power and protect ourselves, okay? When bad things happen, you don't need to feel helpless or lost or alone, but you find a solution to heal. That's self-empowerment, and that leads to my favorite thing, self-care, right? So personal power lets you take good care of yourself, to value yourself, and to protect yourself. So you ask, how do I tap into personal power, right? Especially, I don't know too many people who haven't gone through some sort of trauma in their life, minor to major, myself included, and it takes a lot of work. So The first thing is embrace yourself in your life. And one thing that I talk about is gratitude, right? Be grateful for what you have, right? And this step can be one of the most uncomfortable steps because it's also very rewarding once you get the hang of it. But in order to feel empowered in your life, you need to stop hiding from yourself, right? You need to have belief in yourself and you need to stop hiding from yourself. It's easy to ignore who we are, especially if we have a lot of shame and guilt around our identities, bodies, or experiences, right? So those are where you need to step into, self-healing, self-care, and either counseling or get a coach to help you, right? Step into self-ownership. It's related to embracing your life. This is a one about really owning who you are, right? It's about turning around your victim mentality into something that produces power, right? You're not going to lie yourself. You're not going to lie to yourself or artificially inflate your ego, right? You will take a stand for yourself, own the parts that you need work, and be willing to lean into your growing edges. An example of this is you need to be honest with yourself, right? And the victim mentality is always putting yourself down to others, right? It's one thing admitting your faults, but it's continuously to the point where people, when they see you on social media or they see you in person, they already know what to expect, and it's negative and it drains their energy. Never mind, it would drain your own, right? So you're not working on yourself. And if you are in the same spot day after day, month after month, year after year, you're not developing your personal power, right? You are not being honest with yourself. You are not doing the work to empower your own self, your own personal power. So know your limitations and how you can expand. We can all have limits on what we do, whether that's physical, emotional, mental, energy, skill-wise, there's just so many ways, right? It's important to be honest about what you can and cannot handle, right? That empowers you. Even admitting that you can't do something or you're not well at something empowers you because you're owning it, and it's okay. Because we're all human and nobody's perfect. So you're accepting yourself for who you are. On the other hand, it's also important to recognize when you're intentionally staying small. So if you have the potential to do something better and you're not really putting forth the effort for yourself, not anyone else, you're only selling yourself short. You're cheating yourself out of that. So it ultimately comes down to focus. Don't always focus on the things you can't change, feeling frustrated or held back. Accept them and move on to the things that you can change. That's personal power, right? I love this stuff. I love how it all connects. And cultivate more self-awareness. We live in a relatively non-self-aware society. We really do, right? Hence what's been going on in the States. And hello, right? And taking something and manipulating it and changing it into something it really isn't. So when you do that with yourself, you're not developing a true self-awareness, okay? So develop a true self-awareness. Cultivate more self-awareness. Being more self-aware doesn't mean hyper-focusing on the negative aspects or fixation on our flaws and faults. Like if you're someone that's super skinny and you're always focused or fixed on that and can't build muscle tone, right? Or the opposite, right? You are overweight, or in your mind you're overweight and you're always fixated on that and it immobilizes you. That's not personal empowerment. You need to work on yourself to feel empowered, right? So you immediately see the rewards of this change when you focus, right? So it means by truly understanding who we are and how we feel. And the last one is take ownership of regulating yourself, right? Once you've worked through the previous steps and are truly self-aware, you can start to see opportunities self-regulate, right? Your world becomes a better place. When you have more self-awareness, more self-power, more self-care, and you feel more self-confident, it all becomes, your whole being will become a better version of you, right? This means you understand your reactions to situations and you can self-determine how you will behave with them, right? Because when you have more power, you got more personal power, you are less likely to react badly. You're going to react appropriately opposed to act badly. Fixate, that is a good word to really think about. Yes, I agree. It really is. So, stepping into your personal power as someone on an intentional wellness path, it's in your best interest to also cultivate plenty of personal power. Taking good care of yourself means protecting, defending, and advocating yourself when you're when you're out in the world and at home, right? You're valuable. Everyone's valuable. You're valuable, and the world needs the gifts you have to offer. We all have something to offer. Take the time to get to know yourself, heal your wounds, and care for yourself. Your friends, family, and colleagues will find your journey to empowerment inspiring, and they will feel more fulfilled in your life. And it's really true. So, I've had lots of experiences with different things in life, with family, friends. I've had positive and negatives. I've set my brand boundaries, and I didn't always come from a place of personal empowerment, right? My personal power has grown with me over, the last several years, and that's why I love what I do now. So if you want to talk about this more or go further, reach out to me. And if you know someone that this could help, please share my video. And thank you. Thank you. I would love your comments and your feedback if you have any. And I will see you all soon. Love yous all. Mwah.